But then, I started thinking about that. thinking, maybe this isn't so good. Because the emphasis on this text, as I read it, it seemed like it wasn't about the person being raised or brought back to life, Tabitha. It was more about Peter. And I thought, well, that's a little twisted. How in the world am I going to make that work? Because we, in this church, affirm all women. We affirm all men, and we say that there is no person that is greater than the other. Right? So how do we live that out? No, you didn't say right to that. Because it's tricky. It is tricky. Are y'all hot? Do we need to put the air on?
Yes.
Sean, would you just... Here. Okay, good. I can take clues from you. You see the fans going. So I started to get a little bit concerned about that. How will we live this text for women? And how is it that we don't know much about Tabitha? I didn't know much about Tabitha. On Monday, I don't think I have ever studied this text to find out more about Tabitha. And I'm here to tell you that I am so grateful for the women in this church who have taught me that that's the way it usually is in our culture for male-dominated society, right? So, and so I set out to see what I could discover about Tabitha. And lo and behold, I discovered so much, Coach Blanford got sick of it. Because every single night this week, I was telling him what I learned about Tabitha. And, you know, she was a shero of her day. The first thing is she had two names. She had Tabitha, which is an Aramaic name, and she had Dorcas. So she was known in two circles. The Roman Greco circle and in her Aramaic circles. A circle that was known for being poor. The city of Joppa in biblical times was a poor city, and yet she was known by those more aristocratic, people. Right? We know that. So we begin to understand that Tabitha is somebody who was comfortable going in two circles. Her friends were wide. Her influence was diverse. This is the other thing. The word disciple, I discovered in this passage, is the feminine form, discipla in Greek. So it ends with L-A, which means the feminine form. And I began to wonder, I don't know if I've ever read the feminine word for disciple in the Bible, period. And lo and behold, this is the only place in the entire New Testament where the word disciple is in the feminine. So that begins to tell me something else, that this woman did things, extraordinary things, to be known in her day, in her time, as somebody who followed her God. That is significant. Significant. And then my feminist theologian friend, Amy Levine. Oh, Lord, how I love Amy. She has written a companion to the Acts of the Apostles. And she calls Tabitha, she refers to her as the seamstress, the charitable seamstress. Do you know why she's called a charitable seamstress? Because she made clothing for widows and the disadvantaged. Now you have to appreciate this because in Tabitha's time, she just didn't go down to the fabric store and buy some fabric and some thread and get out her Singer sewing machine to make clothes. It is likely that she wove the fabric herself, right? And then she created what beautiful garments for people. It took time. She wasn't looking for a sale. It took time for her to do what she did. And she made beautiful garments. Garments that meant a lot to those who received them. Because what she did was she fed the naked by clothing them. Imagine what that must have meant to people, to be given a garment, especially when you have none. She wasn't going through her closet wondering, what haven't I worn for a while? Right? She didn't think about what clothing she was going to give away. She made these clothes. And people loved receiving them because when they came from Tabitha, people realized that over time, these garments had been made. They were saturated with her love. Scholars are debating if she was a person of means. In Bible days, in the first century, the only way that a female was given any kind of status or looked at as somebody with means is if they were married to a man. Right. Amy Levine says that she was an independent woman because she was attached to no man. She was attached to no man. And I think that is even more brilliant because she didn't care about status. She didn't care about how people viewed her. What she cared about was taking care of people that needed and deserved her help. Luke is the author of the book of Acts, and Luke describes her as somebody who did good things, as somebody who paid attention, as somebody who gave to charity. I say Tabitha is an amazing, brilliant woman in the way that she served. Scholars also wonder if she was a widow. But here's the deal. As I went through this text, I realized that the word in Greek for widow, shira, is that word, shira, is not used when it is described, when Tabitha is being described. So that leads me to believe that she was not a widow. And how brilliant that she didn't need a man to affirm her. She knew that she was created in the image of God, and that's what gave her worth. That's what gave her value. She was a woman that shows us what servant leadership is about. And I am so thankful for Tabitha's example. And it didn't stop there. Because I had to consider who are the unsung sheroes, even in our own congregation, that we so easily overlook. Just like I have so easily overlooked this woman of great stature, this woman who did so much in the lives of people. How many times have I overlooked her? Oh, there was something else I forgot to mention. You can see, too, how the community felt about Tabitha in the way that they prepared her body. When she died, what does the text say? That the community came and bathed her and then laid her body in the upper room. Amy Levine says that it was laid in the upper room because that was a place of honor for people to come and pay homage to Tabitha. This Bible passage is only 7 verses, but you can see that it is filled with wisdom. It is filled with what discipleship is about. And this morning, I have thought about women in our own church that do follow the example of Tabitha. women that are under the radar a lot, women that we have not honored publicly. And you know what? It is time that we do. What do you think? So I have not asked permission to honor these women, but you'll see, it probably will not be surprising to you who they are. And when I mention the things that they have done for years here at MCC Richmond, you will appreciate them as well. So the first woman that we're going to honor is Tigger. Tigger, would you please come? Ministry for more than 20 years. And let me tell you how Tigger rolls. On Thursday, when people are coming in to receive food from the food pantry and in the lounge, there is not one person that she doesn't come and greet and remind them of how valuable they are. And when drama starts to unfold, she just goes over to the table and starts loving up on people. She doesn't tell them to stop. They stop immediately because they know that Tigger means business. But they know more importantly that Tigger loves them. And then when somebody needs clothing, she makes sure they get clothing, right? When somebody needs a hygiene kit, Tigger makes sure that they get a hygiene kit. And so Tigger, accept our thanks. The next hero that we're going to celebrate is Sarah Fleming. Sarah, please come forward. That you can count on to make sure that we know how she feels about things. Yes. And let me tell you, that's of great importance because there are people who are afraid to share. But when Sarah starts sharing, people realize that it is okay to share. It is okay to share. I personally know how much Sarah means to many people. And yet at the same time, I also know that Sarah is faithful. Faithful in many things. But she is one who demonstrates giving of her time, her talent, and her treasure faithfully, even when she's in Florida. And how wonderful is that? Sarah also is one of these people that I mentioned without mentioning last week in my sermon, who has discovered a community of women that affirms her, a community that she has needed so much in her life. And as she comes back and shares the stories with us year after year of what she's discovered there, what we see is that it's just not this community. Sarah's own words are, she looks forward to coming back and seeing all of her friends, including male friends, in the celebration hall. Isn't that correct? And she recently she was on a team during a Living Wednesday, and it was kind of an impromptu team thing, and Sarah said, and I was with all men, and it was fun. So Sarah, thank you for what you do here. Let's celebrate. The next person is Sharon Tellerico. Sharon sings faithfully in our choir, and she does solos, and we're so glad that she does. Jenny says she has sung in the choir forever. You look pretty good for being forever. But this is the other thing that I love about Sharon. When I'm getting ready when I hear about a rally happening or somewhere where we can go and cause a little bit of holy trouble, I'll call Sharon. Are you in? And she'll say, are you in? And our signs and go, right? You'll remember that it was all because of Sharon needing to use the restroom that we stopped at that park. 2 years ago. this is how Sharon rolls. She came up to me and she said, Pastor, they got an empty bathroom over there and they won't let the women use it because it's a men's bathroom. Can you do something about that? I said, oh yeah, we'll do something about that. Sharon was there as I talked to these people, cheering me on. Come on, go, go, go. I didn't know they were going to call the SWAT team. But they did. And when we got done, Sharon said, that's my pastor. Yeah. We should go and find our voice and speak up and make a change in this world. Amen. Sharon also has started something at this church that I know we haven't talked about in 3 years, and some of you may not even be aware of it, period. She has started and has funded the Legacy Fund of this church. The Legacy Fund is a fund that Sharon started so that MCC Richmond can be around for generations to come. Her concern for future generations that we provide a place where people can go to know that they are holy and blessed just the way they are is exactly what we need to be concerned about. So just not making sure that our bills are paid now, and please give to the offering today. We need your money. But we need more for the work to continue. If the work isn't continued, others won't hear the message. So Sharon, thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Today as our unsung sheroes, what I would encourage you to do is think about who is your unsung shero in this congregation. And at lunch today, tell them, thank them for their ministry in this place. Thank them for making a difference here at MCC Richmond because of you, because of them, for you. And the last unsung shero that I would like to honor today is Frances Griffin. Yay! Came to Richmond, I heard that Frances was in the hospital, and I knew very few people by name. I couldn't place faces with names, and so I went to the St. Mary's, and I walked in, and Frances said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Oh, aren't you a member at MCC Richmond?" And she said, "Yeah, but I wasn't expecting you to be here." And so that was a wonderful thing. You invited me into your room, and Frances began to share a history about this church with me that I had no idea about. But this is one of the things that I love about Frances. You can count on Frances to be honest and forthcoming. Amen. Frances told me that there was a time that she had had enough with MCC Richmond and she had to leave life. And then she said, it was so wonderful to come back and discover a new reason to be at MCC Richmond. And I love that Frances made a decision that she left, she had to leave, but she also made a decision to come back, to admit that that was not the right thing any longer. How many times do we take it upon ourselves to make amends or to say, oh, but maybe that was not the right decision, and then come back and to be among us? There's another thing about Frances that I love. We're talking about gender and the way that we love around here. Frances, for many years, was in a relationship with another woman. 33. See what I mean about speaking up? 33 years she was in love with a woman, and then she met James Griffin and fell in love with him. And I think that's an example to us all, that when we love deeply and love correctly, even though Boots had passed on, that God will provide love for us again. And that love is not based on gender. And how amazing is that? So Frances, thank you for being one of our know, a text might seem to say one thing, and yet there can be a whole richer meaning that's there for us to learn from. Do the work in trying to unpack words. Don't let language separate you from the meaning that God has in any relationship. And more importantly, as we consider celebrating women, may we be reminded that it is women who have continued to lead the way. It was women who cared for Jesus' body. It was women who nurtured Jesus. And it will be women, I am convinced, that will continue to speak truth to us in ways we have not even imagined. And so on this day, we celebrate each and every woman. We celebrate each and every human being. And we say that we are all blessed because we have a God that loves us unconditionally and says that each and every one of us is valuable in God's sight. Amen?
Amen.